like to start off just thanking our fans and students for the atmosphere and the crowd that we had in the game Saturday night, particularly in the first half. And I know right now it's tough as a fan base as we're suffering through, some difficult things, but I also know that we've built a heck of a program here, and these kids are working really hard, and the staff is working really hard, and they'll continue to do so. And being young and facing the injuries has created a reality of adversity that we're in, and I really believe that adversity shows you your true self, and I think for us, it's an opportunity to be our best leaders that we can be. And was raised by a great family and had a terrific grandfather that used to say tough times never last, but tough people do, and I think that's a great thing for this program right now. And I look forward to continuing to persist and fight and help these guys get better. And we have a great opportunity this week. And excited to get back on the grass with the guys. They were really good in our meetings yesterday. It really comes down to us not beating us. As good as Clemson is, we obviously gave them a lot of opportunities with the turnovers we had in the first half. And it's about ending every drive with a football and handing the ball to the referee at the end of every play. Whether we finish each drive with a kick, being a punt or a field goal or an extra point, that's got to be what we do to win football games. Defensively, we've got to get much better in our tackling fundamentals. The last 2 weeks, that has not been where we need it to be, and it's really just consistency with technique, which allows you to be consistent in your fundamental execution of your plays. As far as Louisville goes, I have a lot of respect for Scott, and he's doing a great job. And they've got good team speed. He inherited a team that had some really good skill players, and those guys make plays for him. They have 3 receivers that are averaging over 17 yards per catch. They got a young tailback that's very dynamic. They play hard on both line of scrimmages. Their coaching staff does a great job, and it's going to be a great opportunity. I think for us it's about, just helping whoever's in the lineup to execute as good as they can, and giving those opportunities to them. We got to practice really, really fast. And the hard thing for us right now, our scout teams, you talk about depth. Well, when you're taking guys from the scout team to play on the upper fields, your scout team doesn't give you the best look all the time, and so having that speed against each other, we're going to have to do some good on good throughout the week to make sure that we can simulate the speed that we're going to have to play against. At Louisville, they've had some turnover issues early in their season. They've gotten that together. They've been relatively healthy as a football team. I do think, personnel-wise, their quarterback's playing well, 62%. He's a very good athlete, only 3 interceptions and 10 touchdowns. I mentioned their 3 receivers. I think Hawkins, Atwell, and Fitzpatrick are all really good players, and they do a good job with them on their play-action scheme and their jet schemes, getting them the ball where they can make plays. On defense, they've struggled in some games. In other games, they've been very productive. They are a disruption-based defense. They bring a lot of pressure, give you a lot of looks, a lot of different coverage. And so, another week, another challenge, another opportunity for our football team. Questions?
I think when the season starts, you probably map out, this is what has to happen for us to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Without going through that list, has there been anything on that list, your list, that has actually come to fruition?
We're punting and kicking the ball well. Those 2 things are happening right now on a consistent weekly basis. I think those 2, I was worried about our punter going into the season, with AJ being a 4-year starter, and I think Trent Gill's done a great job on kickoffs and on punts. That's been consistent, and I wasn't sure with all the change in our special teams how that would go, and we're covering kicks better than we have. I think Coach Goebel's done a really good job with our coverage units, and so that's been one area that I was concerned about just because I didn't know what it would look like. But a lot of the rest of it has been, I don't know how many different starting lineup combinations we have now, but I don't know how you can predict consistency when you're inconsistent in your lineup every week. That's the hardest thing, and nobody sits in their office in preseason. Obviously, it's, hey, if this guy gets hurt, what do we do? You don't go through what we've been through and have those answers. You just got to do the best you can with what the trainer tells you that week and get the guys ready.
where's your linebacking core stand right now? And is there any rhyme or reason to all these injuries, or is it just kind of one of those fluke things?
As far as the linebackers, Isaiah will be back this week, so we're excited for him. Drake is fine. C.J. Hart's fine. Sounds like Peyton's going to be good. So, still waiting to find out on Lewis. Haven't heard yet on his status. As far as the injuries, I wish it was all one injury so I could tell you that we're not doing something right, but it's not. It's a foot here, it's a shoulder here, it's a knee here, it's a concussion here. We've had a lot of different things, and it's just, I don't know, one of those things we're going through right now.
Following up on that, have they mostly been game injuries?
They have.
Tyrone, I know Tyrone wasn't, but
yeah, Tyrone's was he got his foot stepped on in an inside drill, and I think we've had 2 or 3 practice injuries, but about 90% of them have been on game day, which is really weird. A lot of times because they're playing so fast, you don't have that. And most of the injuries that I've dealt with over the last 6 years have been training camp, where you're having back-to-back type work, and they just don't have the recovery aspect like you normally do during the season.
Forgive my lack of Louisville preparation. I've only watched one of their games. How much of their run game looks like what you try to do with your run game, with Dwayne being there and obviously Dwayne being with Scott before he was here?
Well, the stretch or wide zone, whatever you call it, is the staple, and it was at App and it was here with Dwayne. They are doing more QB run game because their quarterback's a good athlete. He can run. He's their 3rd leading rusher. More 12 personnel, than we were able to do here with the bodies that they have there probably. But, there's, 75% of that run game is stretch, which is what we were, with Dwayne. So you see a lot of that.
You mentioned Louisville as a disruptive defense. As you went back and watched the videotape of the Clemson game, how well did the offensive line and the backs and everybody else pick up the Clemson blitzes?
Could be better. There were times where we won, times where we didn't win. I think you get in a game like that where you're down as fast as we were, they're just going to tee off at that point, put you in some tough situations protection-wise. But there was a lot of different things being thrown at 2 true freshmen. I thought Dylan and Icky played really well for freshmen in that game, and I was proud of them for how they competed. And there were times where our backs won and times where they didn't, But it wasn't a sieve back there by any means, I think our quarterback did take some shots, showed some toughness, and obviously you'd like to keep him up.
When did you find out about Xavier Lias, and what does his departure kind of do to depth?
He came in and saw me on Sunday, wish him luck. Rather talk about the guys that are here.
What does that do?
Somebody put a great screenshot out today, though, that their girlfriend was in the portal. I thought that was pretty funny. It's life, Some of these kids don't play as much as they want, and that's how it goes. So as far as our depth, we'll be fine. We got enough defensive ends. We'll be good.
With the players that you have to work with, player development is a process that you can't really speed up. How do you kind of walk that fine line between trying to get the best out of these guys and being patient with them at the same time?
I don't think we're at a point where patience is really what we're doing. We're trying everything we can do to win the next game with who we're playing with. And I told them week 3 or week 4, if you're a freshman and you've played in all games, you're not a freshman anymore, And so it's just a one day at a time. What are they struggling with? How can we make them better, regardless of their age right now? They're all football players that need to play better, and that's how we're approaching it.
We all noticed the 3 guys on the same play go down. I don't know if you saw it or just if you could share
Looked
your
up
thoughts
at the
on
sky
seeing
on that one.
it.
I was like, come on now. I just went by each pile and was like, how? And quickly 2 of them were like, I'm good. So I was like, okay. Peyton's was the one that we were most concerned about because the other 2 guys gave me the thumbs up pretty fast. Tough deal.
What's that question like for you? Do you go out there with are you okay, or do you go out there with what's wrong? Or what's your
No, I
process
mean, I'm
like
just
that on the
going out
checkup?
there to, one, comfort the guy, make sure he's okay, and then second, get information so that I can tell the coaches he's done for the day, or hey, he'll be back quick, you know, because with where we're at situation-wise, who's going in the game, there's not a long list, so we got to be ready.
This team stayed positive. Do you think that has a lot to do with your personality? Because everything kind of filters down to the head coach.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I believe in karma. I think if you're a negative person every day, you bring negativity into your life. If I'm negative in that building, then that building has a negative feel. You know, my job is to create an environment where people want to be great, and I've got to be positive to make that happen. I also have to be truthful, you know, and I have to tell them the facts. But, you know, I think that if you're a positive person, if you have a positive outlook, if you try to find solutions instead of problems, that better things happen, you know. And so that's the approach that I'm taking with our guys. And there's a lot of days when I'm picking people up because not everybody sees things like that. You know, I think a lot of people like to look at the negativity that's going on out there, and you know, to me, it's a problem, and a problem you get to face one way or the other. You can attack it or you can run from it, and I like attacking it with the right attitude.
Got the 7:30 game Saturday, and then obviously the short turnaround road trip to Georgia.
That wasn't very fair, but yeah.
Do you have to make any adjustment this week, or is that a challenge you face next week?
No, we'll get back from, I don't know, we'll be home Saturday night, like 1, and then we have to leave on Wednesday to play a game, you know, so I think it's something that the league should look into for both teams that play a Thursday short week game to never have to play a night game on the Saturday prior from a player safety standpoint. I think that would be a wise discussion. But we'll have to adjust. Be very difficult to practice with pads on that week, you know, maybe one day. Our guys have a lot of academic obligations too, you know, so Monday, Tuesday, I mean, you wake up on Sunday and it's already game week Wednesday. It's crazy. It's a short turnaround. I should just have Justin come, my trainer, next week. You guys have a lot more fun with him. Just have a good day.
Thanks, Dave.